Board of Directors meeting to order. Confirm proper notice.
Notice posted according to statutory requirements on somewhere on the district, so over 15.
We got a roll call.
We do.
Okay,
Right
yeah,
here.
we got everybody here. Wow, welcome.
Roger,
Here.
I'm here. Shannon,
Here.
Steve,
He's leaving.
okay, Dick, Denny.
Here.
George.
Here.
Oh, okay. Monica. Here. Claire.
Here.
Tammy. Here. Tiffany. Here. Barb. Here. Deb. Here. And John.
Here.
Are you asleep, John?
Taking a little nap.
I was calm.
We're gonna have a moment of meditation.
Meditate.
I don't know, maybe.
No,
maybe
no, you
not.
did not.
I missed you. You were first on the list.
You better put it back there.
It's still there, right there. Cookie.
Here,
Okay, sorry.
it's okay.
I just got a couple little comments. I've noticed this summer people will go away for the summer, and I know most of you probably stay here, but maybe you can put it out to your neighbors, and maybe we should put something else on the website. They're not having their units checked what we would call properly. Oh, my neighbor's going in once in a while and looking. Well, do they look in the closet for mold? Do they look, in each bathroom and every single room and everything? Because, if I know we have a couple guys here on premises that do it and are very good at it. I do it for a couple in my cluster. But it's important to have somebody who really knows what they're doing to check your units when you're gone, not just, the next door neighbor walking in and, oh yeah, looks good. I mean, when I go in, I usually go in early. I turn the air conditioning down from 78 or 80, wherever it is, put it on 74. Open the lanai to the bedroom and to the living room and let the fan in the on position. And then I go back later that day and turn it off. But it airs everything out. It gets the humidity out because you lower the air conditioner. Little things like that. And, the guys I know that do it here, they go in and they literally take pictures and send it to the people. So they're checking closets. They're checking, I think 2 years ago, I found a bunch of mold on some shoes in a closet. That was the only thing that give me any hint at this. So, although because I have a humidity gauge and I have it when I work. But anyway, that's just something that we should think about.
Is there a way that we could say that if we leave for the summer, who is checking their unit with the office?
That we should try to get that up. This winter, we'll talk about it in the board meetings when a lot of those people are back.
Well, if you would, Steve, maybe the building committee could come up with a nice little checklist that we could put out there.
Okay, I can do that. That's not a problem.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
And the hot water heater.
Yeah, hot water heaters off and water off. Okay, I'll come up with something for you.
Great.
Bet you're happy you said that.
Hmm?
I bet you're happy you said that.
I have a question.
Okay.
When we have the bug guys going around, they hit every unit and go inside. Are they or do they have any input?
Yes, they do. I went into 138 and the ceiling fell down. I mean, I've gotten that. Yeah, he's very good about that.
Well, I know that when we had that 760 with mold on the walls and everything else like that, those are, I know some of the units you're talking about,
Yeah.
that I'm not sure air conditioners even go. That's what I'm
That's
scary.
Well, see, that's the first thing I check when I check somebody's unit is the air
Make sure they're-
conditioning. Yeah.
Sometimes it's turned off. I wonder. I don't know.
Could be. Some people don't want to pay the electric.
Oh, God.
Yeah, but anyway, that's all I want to throw out there. All right, the minutes. Have we reviewed the minutes?
Yep.
Everybody happy with them?
Happy.
Want to make a motion?
Sure.
Dick? Dick's motion, second. Shannon? All four? Anybody opposed?
Are you asking?
Huh?
For or opposed?
Anybody opposed? Okay, then it's approved. Financial matters. Want to do that, John,
I
or
think John probably wants.
John West? There you go.
He's here.
Yes.
Jump in there.
I don't wanna read his-
Well, if you'll take a look at your sheet, you'll see that we have some numbers that are out of whack here a little bit, but they're specifically because of good reasons. A prime example or source of income, in other words, income is off because of the additional funds that have been brought in by the assessment. I'm sure John will talk more about that on his side. Administrative costs are higher than budget based on the insurance increase, which is coming into place at the present time. We have had tree trimming going on, which has thrown our grounds budget out of whack, but it will catch itself up again as we get closer to the fall and the budget itself pulls itself into place. The pool and tennis budget is higher because of the new high efficiency pumps, which have been put in place, and we also had a leakage there. Last but not least, and the good news in this particular area is our utilities are below budget. And under. So far this year, we spent approximately $60,000 out of our reserve based on the reserve items that were in there: slab repair, pavement, a pool repair, and some machinery. So other than that, I think that's about all. Any questions?
I can add, basically, we're, other than insurance, we will be within budget by the time we amortize out some of these expenses, especially the one that we're over on in tree trimming, because it always hits in 1 month, but we get 12 months and we're under budget with the actual expense. But when an expense hits 35,000 or 40,000 in 1 month, it has a tendency to throw it off for a short period of time. Also, it's important to know that some of the funds are starting to trickle in as far as allocation to the operating surplus. And we're sitting about $43,000 in the operating surplus. That will climb up to close to 100 as we planned once the other 3 assessments come in, the 3 quarterly assessments. But then again, because of the increased insurance that we're going to be looking at it again, we're probably going to have to hit that fund so we can amortize those funds as they come through.
Accounts receivable.
Accounts receivable, as usual, we're in pretty good shape. Probably the biggest area of concern is that 20 owners have not paid the first quarterly assessment on the special assessment.
How many did you say?
20. And, you know, in the big picture, that's not a lot, but in the big picture for us, it is a lot because normally we have 3 or 4 that may be slow. Since we've called them and talked to them each individually and still had no response. I today turned over any who's not paid that because we're moving into the 3rd month in arrears. Or we are in the 3rd month of arrears. They've been turned over to the attorney. So not only are they going to have a $25 late fee, but there'll be associated collection fees associated with their account.
Is there a trend line there? Are these all out of state? Snow
No,
plowing?
not at all.
Oh,
No.
What type of excuses? Curious.
Well, most of them are, I didn't get it. There was about 45, and once we started calling, we got it cut in half. So right now, I think some of it's tightness, some of it is dispute. You know, that one person said, well, if you charge me $25 late fee, I'm not going to pay the fee at all. Okay, then you'll just pay more, you know, so. Because we are charging them $25 late fee, before we turned it over to the attorney, and we, about 25 of those, so that's some additional income for the association. We don't like to collect it that way, but at least there's more dollars coming in.
Are they aware that we can put a lien on there?
Absolutely, absolutely. When it goes to the attorney, I can't even talk to them. That's state law. So they don't deal with us at all anymore. And they're told that also.
Hmm.
And we had somebody come in Friday and bring in $1,500. So, that's the biggest source of an issue. We obviously still have a problem with 364. Unit 364 has, it's interesting, there was an assessor here today. She works for apparently the bank. She was dispatched and paid to come out and find out why they can't sell it. Maybe their price is too high, but they went to auction, and we found out, because we have little or no communication. They're not communicating with us at all. As a matter of fact, we've placed a lien against the property against the bank, because since they took over, they haven't paid us a nickel. They haven't paid us anything on the assessment or anything else. So we're going to have our own lien and possibly foreclosure against the bank. But what happened was that we found out today by this lady coming in and just happened to come in and talk to us. It turns out that they had 2 contracts, and both people have failed to come through on the contracts after bidding on them. So we don't know why, because nobody told us they were even interested. So that's up-to-date news as of 15 minutes ago.
Isn't this the one that you said there was a discrepancy between how much they owed us?
Well, that's part of it. Yeah, I mean, the bank is challenging the state law, saying they don't feel that they should have to pay us the $12,000. They want to pay us $4,000. And so we're moved against the bank for that too.
What's
The
the
bank
impact?
was holding it up. Sorry.
No, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I can't say. It shouldn't hold it up to the bank, because, the bank's going to make somebody pay for it.
What's the impact of a lien?
The impact of a lien is that we've established the fact that if it's not paid, the association can move forward for foreclosure. And
First in line this time, right?
pardon?
You're first in line this time.
Yeah, we would be first in line, because there's no mortgage
There's no
holder other than
mortgage,
the
yeah.
bank. Yeah, so we'll see. Something has to give on the thing sooner or later, but the good news is that we've laid out a lot of money for legal expenses and things like that, when we get to 12,000, or what turns out ultimately to be, we'll be reimbursed for everything that we're out of pocket.
They can't sell that until the lien has been taken care of.
That's correct. They can't sell it until all the money that owes us. I mean, we have a right to sell it. Yeah.
Don't they have to notify us if they're going to put it on the market?
No,
They don't.
no. I'm just like, I mean, yes, it's good form to do that, but if you were going to sell your unit tomorrow, there's nothing that says you have to do it. Have to
I'm
tell
not
us.
a bank.
No, I understand, but the bank doesn't have any, matter of fact, if there are any rules, they're lesser than they would be for you.
So they just,
They put it up for
Okay.
auctions, and they want to get rid of it. There's no question about
well, then pay the lien, pay the
it.
association.
Pay it off.
what they owe.
Well, that's right. So, I mean, but we've been successful as we were with 762, I guess it was. We got all $22,000 from them, so we just have to stay the course and
Are they being fined still at the bank based on,
fine. No.
they haven't paid the bill, we just got this $25 on the.
They will
assessment.
have a the lien includes late fees and attorney's fees. So yes.
Does it also include the special assessment?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
So that special assessment isn't,
Well, it is
It's
now in
reflected.
there.
I know, but it's not the 12,000, it's more than the 12,000, correct?
No, that is up to date. What
Okay.
so including the $700.
Okay.
So this will keep going up every quarter that goes.
That's
by.
correct. until we pay. There was a time, seemed like yesterday, it was $3,600. I mean, that's how fast time goes.
It's been a long time.
That's basically it. The other unit that is behind has brought in some money, but hasn't paid it all. That's why there's still a lien on the property. They still owe about $2,700 to us, but there's attorney's fees and everything else. But for them to satisfy their lien, they've got to come up with almost $6,000.
Whoa.
Not cheap to get behind.
No, because it just accrues.
But we're on top of it, and that's the good news. Everything else is, as usual here, very good shape of accounts receivable wise.
You included all the legal units in there, or we?
Just a good-
Nothing else?
yeah.
All right, old business. Second floor slab.
Okay, second floor slab renovation. 2 more have been done. 5 more are in the process of starting next week. And so in total, we are at 44 done. And the price continues to stay somewhat low, or at least well below the 5,000. The last one came in at 2,600, and the other one was the 29 something because there was more rotted wood involved with it. But it's a time and materials basis that fluctuates. But we know now our costs are half of what we were paying before.
Okay. Flooring issues. Upper
That's, yeah,
units.
that's on the agenda mainly because it's been settled and at the last meeting, everybody wanted to make sure that we get out a cohesive, comprehensive note to all owners to ensure that they clearly understand. And so I put something together. I sent it to you all. You all graciously responded well, and I put those amendments into this document you have in front of you. There's no pride in authorship. If there's something there that you wish to add or in some manner, fine. If not, this will go out to everybody post haste.
What is going to be the standard operating procedure? An inspection, a signature on the letter? What do we have?
Well, so far, we've got 2 that's done it, and we've got copies of the invoices, and they're put in the owner's file, and then copy of, then we've reviewed, as a matter of fact, Stephen was with me on both occasions on this one. And
Solid materials.
we physically have
solid.
seen the materials.
And that's
So-
going to continue. You'll either go to them or they bring the materials to us.
I just
Reviewing.
would like us to put that in their files so that.
It is.
as we go on for
It's in
history
their file, yeah.
purposes.
Barbara.
We originally had 2A said polyurethane vapor barrier, but now 2A is blank.
2A.
2A, yeah.
On the children.
Part B,
Ooh.
2A.
Oh, well, how about those apples? All right, that means polyurethane. Yeah, I don't know why that didn't get in there.
Blank
Thank you.
polyurethane.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's easy.
It was
enough.
in the
Thank you.
original that you
Yeah.
sent out. Just when you redid it.
Huh.
Go say, I know, I saw it.
Yeah, well, it was in there, yeah, but anyway, thank you, Barbara.
I like the fact that you put this down below in red.
Thank
I think
you.
that calls.
That was me.
Oh, well, awesome.
I know.
You
There
think
is-
he
so
just
there
rides,
You
you think he just rides around saying nothing?
So there is pride partnership because he claimed that one.
I did. That was my suggestion.
And it was Roger's suggestion to, I'm sorry, Shannon's suggestion to capitalize that last sentence.
Wow.
Let's
All
get
that
people's
input.
attention.
There was a question about wood.
But I saw
Well, I
yours
just
and then it
thought
took
that
on me.
This will go
Red
on the
was
bulletin
really
board, on the
thick.
website, and a blast email.
I just thought that being included in this, it would confuse people thinking that if they didn't read it closely enough,
Yeah.
that they could put it anywhere they wanted, even though it says dining room, living room, and bedrooms. But the way people read things, they do not read carefully.
Yeah.
And so I just didn't want people to be confused.
No. You sent out, the only reason I answered you that way is because that's what the document.
I
says.
understand that, but, and I said it could cause more confusion.
Yeah.
So,
Everybody okay with that going out, like,
Um,
once he puts that line A back?
That's weird. Yes, Mark?
oh, no, you got it. Okay, sorry, I was just following up on Chris' comments.
Okay.
Okay.
Could you send me a copy for the website?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yes, absolutely. Now that we have it properly, everything included.
So that the floor, the new flooring isn't going to be allowed in the kitchens.
Yes, it would be.
it says kitchen right there.
Hard surface materials such as that, or
That's in the original bylaws.
the original statement.
Yeah.
Just
That's the original
It says,
statement.
it says
Vinyl.
tile. or
Vinyl is
wood.
not prohibited anywhere, Claire.
Right.
Luxury.
But if you put it in the bedrooms and or living room, dining room, you have to conform to B.
Okay, okay.
All right. You want to take over on this next one?
Sure.
Which
Which one's that?
559 termites.
Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, West is here. I sent everybody a note this morning, and I'm sure that most of you had a chance to look at it. But as you know, without just a quick brief history, we've been, it has been found that there was drywood termites in the unit, primarily in the ceiling areas of the unit. We took a look at the tenting, and the tenting would not guarantee that if we expended the $24,000 on tenting, that they would be 100% killed. There was no guarantee that they would be gone. So the board decided to take out the ceilings and in some areas wall
No, well,
and the no wall, no ceilings. Yeah, ceiling, but they would have taken out wall should the investigation revealed it. And when we took them apart, we found damage to the support system of the roof. Some people call them rafters, some people call them something else. The joists. And immediately found that we could not repair those without an engineer's document and a building permit. Unfortunately, those things take time. First of all, we had to find a design engineer to write it up that was reasonable. That was $1,500. Then we had to get an engineer's seal on his plans to make sure that conformed to what the permits required. Another $1,500. Then we had to turn all that materials over to our contractor, who is the same one doing our slabs on a time and material basis. He had to go in and scope everything according to the specifications, because it has to be done with a building permit, and that's where there's delay in every step, unfortunately. Now the permit's been applied for. They've asked for a quick release. Lee assures me the minute he gets in his hand, he's got people ready to go in there. What's going to entail is sistering additional wood to the joists, painting and sealing, and then replacing the ceiling materials, cleaning the unit, painting the unit, and that's basically it. Bill? Sam?
Question on the pod, because we didn't think it was gonna take this long. Just wondering how that works, because I went in on Sunday and my temperature gauge is reading 100% humidity in there, and I've got dry red and everything. So my furniture is probably getting destroyed. So I need to go and get somebody to come and empty the pod, because I didn't pack it to be moved. so things are not packed tightly like you usually do when you're moving stuff. And then it needs to go into an indoor type facility, whatever I have left that's not.
The only thing I can't answer, you'll have to ask the board that, because
That's what I'm
it's
asking.
been my opinion to the board that you didn't have to remove it and put it in pods. We said we'd cover it up in a manner that it would be okay. You chose to put it in the pod. We said we'd pay for the pod. I don't think we want to go any further, but that's up to the board. It's not up
But,
to me.
okay, well, Mike, okay, have you seen have all of the board members seen the inside of my condominium? It has been sitting idle since I think we're on the 11th of July, and it is a mess. I have 2 couches in there that are very expensive couches that I wrapped with plastic, but there's no way in heck, I don't think any of you people would honestly leave your possessions inside a place that the entire ceilings have been dropped down and the mess it incurred. There is drywood, brass all over. It's a mess. And I
Construction
can't see
site,
that
yeah.
only, I understand your opinion, but I can't see that only covering it would save it from anything that, since it's been sitting idle and supposedly there's no action seen, but how do you really know that? I guess is my question. So that's why I'm coming to the board to say, please help me, because I've been homeless since July, and my time that I'm staying at my house or at a person's house that I've been paying for is coming to an end. So my next step is to go into my kitchen and live in there, honestly. So I just kind of need some information on what you're going to do, what you're not going to do, because my financials are piling from a lot of this. And I just really would like to hear.
I have a question. How many rooms do you have in the pod?
I have my bedroom, my daughter's bedroom, although my bedroom didn't have much. It had a mattress and a little stand because I had to throw out all my furniture in there. And so I had that room. I had the outside little lanai room, my daughter's bedroom, my living room, my dining room. And I did seal up the cabinets and stuff, so I didn't and put all of my dishes and stuff in bags. So, because I didn't know if eventually they'd bomb in there or what, I just didn't know what was going to go on. So I just kind of kept that stuff there. So it's not everything in my condominium, but it's a full, that pod that's sitting out there is full from back to front. And I also have stuff stored at other friend's house too that I couldn't get in the pod.
What more could we do? We've done just about everything, Bill. We've got the contractor in, we've gone through the building permit, we've got the engineering guy, we're paying for all those things. And we're doing it as quick as we can, but it's not the board, or is it the association that's holding it up? We
And I
want to get it
understand
done for you too. Looks like we have a timeline now, but I'm not sure that what that timeline's going to be. We know for a fact it happens as soon as it can. And if it does, I think we'll all be happy.
Well,
But I feel
exactly, I'll be
bad that we
ecstatic
can't-
because I can go to my home.
Right, well, and I understand, and my concern is that I don't know what more we can do that we haven't already done. We even did this part that we're doing now, so we could expedite it, because tenting it would have taken us a lot longer, and we wouldn't have been assured, as we are now, that all things would be gone, and structurally, we would have had it in place, so I think we've gone that far. I understand the lack of patience. I myself would be concerned. I just hope that there's some way that we can put it in place and hold it in place and keep it from being any further of a problem for you with the furniture until we get it done. But I think we're gonna need at least another couple of 3 weeks, aren't we, John?
Probably a minimum of 2, once we get the report. But he's got the people in line and the materials ready to go. So that's not going to be a delay this time. Thank goodness.
How many rooms is the ceiling open?
Basically, it's the living, dining,
And the
and
bedrooms.
the
Bedrooms
bedroom.
and the back lanai.
The back
So
one,
she
I-
can't really put anything in the living.
I really don't want to, because I don't know
But, you know, with the huge tarps, I mean, I have had all of my ceilings, the popcorn removed, and I've had the stucco put up.
Right. But
And
that's,
I lived
that's
there.
that, I understand that, but that's that, but this contained bugs. This
The
contained
bugs are gone.
termites. It's different. In my opinion, it may not be in yours. But I just, and thank you for everything you have done. I really appreciate it. And I know that you're working hard on that. But I just didn't know if I would, I mean, I've gotten paid for, John was graciously to say that we'll pay for the pot. I've got one check I haven't gotten September or August.
Should
yet.
be, it was in the mail,
Okay, because I went.
because we
today
had it
and
last
wasn't-
week. You've heard the story. It's in the mail. haven't you?
Yeah, I know. Don't believe me. Yeah.
No, it was mail. It was
It
mail.
was there. I
It was-
signed it.
He signed it.
Believe me, I know
Okay, yeah.
But, you know, I just didn't know if I would receive any help for that or not.
Table.
With us not knowing exactly when it's going to be, you know, I'm,
I don't think anybody wants to be in your position. There's no
and
question about it.
I wouldn't think anybody would, because it's a heck of a position to be in at this point. And it really
The neat part
stinks,
about
but
it, if we're done, it will be done, and it'll be done right, and it'll be perfect again, but these little these areas in between, you can't do much more about it than stand there and prod them as we are, and make sure that they're not in more, you know, trouble than you already are. Something like putting stuff in the front bedroom, ceiling. I don't.
I should never put it down.
Because that's their.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, so
We need a
then,
couple more weeks, and then we'll get that. As soon as it can. And trust me, we are on top of the contract.
no, and I understand that, and I'm very grateful for that. I mean, actually, out of this whole situation, it was a blessing in disguise because we found themes that were
Yes.
not good. But
Barbara.
I
it's
think we're on
just,
the right path. It's just.
the waiting game is just a lot.
So if it was tempted, we would have paid for hotel stay or how would
Yes.
that, what's the precedent?
If the owner wanted it, yes, correct.
Right.
So let
yeah.
me ask you a question. You were talking before that, are you under a time constraint now that you have to?
Well,
be-
yeah, it's coming
Are you
in because
renting
my stay
somewhere?
has been overdue with the person I'm staying with, yeah.
So do you have a time limit beyond which then you need to go?
I've
somewhere?
got maybe a couple more weeks and that's gonna be about it. Yeah, and the problem with the hotel that John had said before, I couldn't take my dog because they didn't take little dogs. So I did the next best thing I could possibly do. That's my problem, it's not yours.
No, but we're saying, but there are hotels that do take dogs, I think. Well, I'm just trying to like,
I know we can't
see
always
what we
take
can do for you if, let's say, it takes more than 2 weeks. Whatever time frame is, let's see time to help you out. You know, where would you go? And if it would cost you money, then would we be able to cover that based on our own precedents that we.
Well, maybe we can set something up that's amenable to you, Jill, at 2.5 weeks max, and then you can go, wait, you know.
well, we can check it out.
Well, I know.
I would like to think that we could be done by then, but I'm
Okay.
I'm
Well,
tired of
I've
giving
got
you
probably about
false
2 more
deadlines.
weeks, And then
Yeah.
after that, then.
I don't want to
We'll
give
see.
you false
So-
deadlines by any
Right,
means.
no, I get that too, yeah. and I don't
Anyway.
want-
I'd rather we have a
Yeah.
backup plan to her now,
Yeah.
you know.
Sure, well,
Danny,
Correct me if I'm wrong, but our big delay right now is the building permit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is there any way we can expedite that?
He went for what they call an expedited permit.
Yeah.
It costs a little bit more.
Yeah, fine, but I mean, the point is that she's homeless. I mean, the bottom line is maybe if you tell them that downtown.
Oh, I'm
sure.
there.
you don't know anything about the permitting department.
They don't want to even hear about our homeless in
I
the
was
corner.
gonna say, we have a homeless camp up there.
Yeah, right. They'll just say, well, they can make it larger.
If you tell them November's coming up and they're, they're up. for
Yeah.
vote.
Yeah, but not one of those persons there are up for a vote.
I know that. But no, but so that's our big thing is that it's
Of course
basically
it
the
is.
building.
Yeah, but the permit was just applied for. We just got the sealed plans last week.
Yeah.
So it's not been sitting there.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know.
Nothing
I didn't know. if it was up.
Yeah.
So the problem with the hotel was the dog.
I'm sorry,
The problem with the hotel was the dog.
they wouldn't take my dog, yeah.
Do we have other hotels that take those?
Oh, yeah,
Well,
most of them
if
take
she
Condo.
can wait a
Yeah.
couple weeks, you know, then we'll have to
Well,
go wherever they can
it's gonna
go.
be more than that, but in the meantime, I gotta-
Let me check in there.
Yeah, I had pods when I moved up here, and they did bring them out to me. Cause sometimes I had to get stuff out, and then they would pick them up the next day, because where they store them, it's air conditioned. Cause I had furniture in the pod, but I also had plants in the pod, and I wanted to get the living stuff out of there.
I don't know if you're with
Yeah,
Todd, are you with
mine-
somebody else?
Mine, I'm with iPod and they don't.
I was with
think it's
iPod.
But they said that they don't have any air conditioner places that they put the pods. It was out of Palmetto.
Oh, mine,
And
I have one right here on, unit, no,
I am
301.
my pod or something, it's, I can't.
Yeah,
remember what it's called.
iPod on 301, yeah, and that was air
In
conditioned.
Palmetto. Well, the one that I got said that it wasn't. And again, you know, I mean, if I could have them pick it up and put it on the pod and move it to wherever I need to go or whatnot, I would, but I didn't pack it like you're packing to move it. I
To move
packed
it,
just
okay.
to
Sit.
hold.
Okay.
Well,
We
let's
didn't obviously.
hope that
didn't
we
think
can
it
do
was gonna take this
something.
long.
Which furniture are you most concerned about? The wooden furniture?
I've got a lot of new furniture, chairs and wood. They have wood and there's some that are material
If-
and that kind of
If
thing.
we could
and-
get some of that
and
up into your
mattresses and-
condo and get it covered properly, would
That's
that
what I
help?
said, that's what I said.
I
But
mean-
maybe rent a storage unit over there and
I
have the
mean,
guys.
we have-
empty
we
their
have-
pod.
That's
we
what I
have
was gonna do, was rent a
very-
storage.
Expensive.
We have strong
Cause all
young
the
men
storage units are
that can carry things
air
upstairs.
conditioned,
I
yeah.
think we should go out that 2.5 weeks and the 2.5.
Let's see what we can
have
do.
to, We'll go to Plan B and see.
Well, we better have a
Yeah.
plan B.
Yes.
Well, I think we've pretty well got one based
that?
on what you're talking about. And that is some living arrangement and we'll deal with the pod too, but I think, let's see if we can get this thing done and then we'll deal with what we're gonna do.
Yeah,
think
For
that'll
her,
work
I hate to leave it, to her right now, that's still up in the air.
Yeah.
That is not a plan. That is if in 2 weeks we can get someplace and then we can put her furniture someplace. We need a plan so that she has confidence that something is going to be done, because we'll leave here and we'll get busy and nobody's gonna think about it.
But we got one that will, right there next to you.
I
I just
understand
think
that,
that.
But it's our responsibility. It's not, technically, it's not John's responsibility.
but
It's our
We have to
responsibility.
vote to authorize if we
Yeah.
are.
I have a sense, of the feeling in this, the feeling is to ameliorate the situation in the best manner, right?
Right.
I think it's everybody's consensus.
Yeah.
If we're still staggering in a week to 10 days, we're gonna know that there's an issue and we'll resolve it positively for you. We've done it in the past, I think, you know.
I just want to ask about mitigating the furniture situation, and is it worth just getting storage space now?
Well, she can't move it. So the big thing is gonna have to get either another pod, put it sided and unload it. Is that worth it if we're gonna get in there in 2 weeks?
I'm sorry, what do you mean she can't move it? What do you
Because
mean?
she said she didn't pack it,
To move
so
it.
she can't move
Yeah,
it.
'cause we didn't
Yeah,
think
they
it was
can
gonna
take
take
that.
long.
And plus, they don't have a space. That company doesn't have conditioned space, so
And
she
they're
would
not
have to get
very
another
careful
pod.
with some
Would
of
we
these
be
things.
paying for movers to do that?
Yeah.
Okay, then that's a non-issue.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, do we
Yeah.
mitigate the furniture issue
I-
now by just saying we would pay that bill to do it now?
Yes, there's a commitment being made to take care of whatever's needed to help her out.
There are,
That's what I get.
there are 15 to 20 motels in the Bradenton area that are pet friendly
Yeah.
as well, according to Google.
We never. have to have a
Well, I
motion or
thought you
anything.
guys just used the,
I don't know what the open-ended, but go ahead if you have one.
No, I don't think we need one. We know that you'll take care of it. And I think the board's behind that.
Have we dismissed the idea of taking the furniture that is most vulnerable and putting it in, what is it, the one bedroom that you have that is okay?
I don't have any bedrooms.
No,
up
no
there.
bedrooms.
So there's no place in
There's
there.
no place that has not been torn down except for my kitchen, and that's all open.
Okay, then my,
Yeah, okay.
But that's what I was
includes
going to
the
mitigating now, everything that's that's in the pond, put it in storage, or the vulnerable stuff, just go ahead and take it, put it in storage.
How are we gonna get it to storage?
With the movers, usually if you find a movers, and you have them do that.
Well, let's do it, but let's do it in 10 to 12 days.
Yeah.
Okay,
Let's see what it comes up. I will do it for you, okay? I will have it done for you.
so you're saying if we don't get the, shouldn't get the permit. in 10 to
No,
12
if they
days.
can't, if I can't find out, the permit hopefully is gonna come today or tomorrow. But, if all of a sudden something else happens, I don't anticipate it, but I mean, I'm sure we got a minimum of 10 days of work, of contracting work. So it has to come quick.
Yeah, I called the county today too, and they said that they haven't received it yet, once it's.
Oh,
the
they-
fees are
I don't
paid
care what
over,
they have.
so I don't know.
He assured,
That's
I
just what they're
signed it.
saying.
We have a notice of commencement.
Yeah.
So they're wrong. I don't know who you're talking to there.
The permit area, and I talked to a Sam Acosta, that is that usually
Yeah,
is the one that sends the stuff.
but I,
to us.
I signed a notice of commitment for the association, and because we're working on association materials. I signed a work order for the price to support the documents. Everything was done. That was last week.
Well, yeah, like I said, what they're seeing is just the work that I had done on the windows last year.
Yeah.
Is any portion
Well-
of this covered by the condominiums insurance?
No. To be brusque. The answer is no. Just $5,000 deductible on any issue, and termites are not an issue.
Yes.
It's Florida. I'm a Michigan girl. We don't deal with this stuff up here. So,
Is your policy, insurance policy, that the coverage, if you have to leave the home at all? Some insurance companies
If you
provide
said
that.
premises.
I just didn't know if that
Because of
was-
higher
Yeah.
power.
know that it did.
I try not to everybody speak because they're trying to get out to the microphone so people can hear us. And
One
Richard,
at a
if you would
time.
speak this way, I know you
Yeah,
know, just so everybody can hear.
but thanks for that. 'Cause I
Yeah,
might-
that-
I'll check and see that. But I don't think if they don't cover the other stuff, I don't think. But we'll see. And I'll let you know.
Well, can I ask a question? If the association plans on paying for it, why should she go through her insurance?
Well, so it would be for the.
Well,
Her homeowner situation.
I don't think my homeowner's gonna do it anyway, so.
you should check.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't
Association, we don't have
think, maybe
insurance
call
for
it
this.
and
We're
find
gonna,
out.
we're gonna pay it out of our pocket.
Cry on the phone and plead your case.
Pardon
Cry on the phone. Plead your case.
I mean, it's like the county, they don't care.
No, well, the county, no, but your insurance person, they don't.
You know who you're with?
Yeah, okay, go.
Geico.
Okay, go.
Where is that little lizard?
Isn't there a
Is it
guy
still
still
there?
office on 41?
Yep, right down by the airport.
Still open, abandoned. last time I drove past
I
it.
don't pay any attention.
I will check.
Joe, I'll commit to a daily update to you. If I have nothing, I'll say nothing. If I don't, I'll have a trend, okay?
Okay.
Okay, next item.
Seal Coat
Seal
Hall
Coat.
parking lot, y'all got a schedule that weather permitting, and the weather looks like it's getting better. This would be the schedule. There'd be about 3 to 4 days, each cluster, I'm sorry, each village will be affected. What they plan to do is a coat the first day, a coat the third day, and striping, I guess, the fourth. And you could get back in. And this is, you're taking a look at what the proposed schedule would be.
Are we just gonna go for parking wherever you can find it, or will there be some kind of instructions? I got that question.
Some kind of inspection.
Instruction.
Yeah, once we approve here, we're gonna, we'll put out like we did with the asphalt things about where they can go and where, obviously it's gonna be catch,
parking
catch,
on the
can.
grass?
gonna have to be almost.
But if they're only doing a cluster at a time, correct?
No,
Village.
Village.
Oh, I
That's a
thought,
lot of cars.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
it's a
thought,
lot of people.
I thought at the workshop you said they would have been doing by cluster. Oh.
And the carports, that's right.
This is not gonna be moved back. I
Well,
mean,
the problem,
if
the later it
anything
goes,
moved up.
the more people will be here.
Yeah, I know,
So we're trying to keep it as soon as possible.
but that means I'll be back, so
Oh,
I'm fine,
oh,
Yeah.
okay.
okay,
Yeah, we've got a couple of vehicles to deal with too.
yeah, I know. And usually they're coming back at the end of October.
Yeah,
some of
so
them.
we're trying to get this done as, already we're gonna impact people in November. But it would have been too, if we try to do it in August or September, the rains we've had.
Yeah,
it would be
exactly. Then we would have paid phone bills, getting the cars off there.
We're hoping,
Yeah.
incidentally, the grass grows, obviously. We're gonna try to cut tomorrow. There's still a lot of mud out there, but just to let you know about that. So if there's no appreciable changes, we'll just go ahead with the schedule and get everything posted in the proper manner.
Okay.
okay.
I'm gonna email in addition to posting in case people are not physically here, but their cars are.
Oh, yeah, we'll do every website, email.
Okay.
And most of the cars, we have a pretty good idea about. Like we have keys for some here.
John,
Danny?
You can do it, Springdale, is the office will be done at the same time Springdale is?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Automatic pool and spa chemical feeders. Talking about earlier.
That's still in discussion
Yeah.
phase. I'm waiting for a final price. We had an off-the-cuff price of about 52,000. I don't see it coming down tremendously, but maybe it can get $5,000 off of it. He's putting his pencil to it now, and I'm waiting for that price. We can continue leasing. It's obviously in the budget for next year to continue leasing. The question would be if we bought it, we don't necessarily have the funds earmarked for that. But in our budget discussion today, we looked at other areas because you have the right to move things around. This would be a money saving activity because we're still paying, $8,400 a year. And that amortizes out in about 4.5 to 5 years. And of course, equipment would be new and we can maintain it in-house without relying on somebody else on the outside doing it. There's a lot to be said for it, but to pay for it and amortize that cost is the other. It would look like to me, the best way would be to move some funds, if you do that, from the internal piping, which has some 60 years to replace. We could take some of that money that we have amassed there to buy it and therefore extend the life of the pipes for those who are going to be here in 60 years.
I think
Yeah.
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
Well, Tiffany raised her hand.
that's why I said once.
Tiffany raised her hand. She intends to be here.
There you go.
I hate Twinkies.
Yeah.
I got a shelf life of another 150 years.
I know the preservatives are keeping me alive, right?
Life through
Well,
chemistry.
let's wait for you to get wait for the exact price and then we can talk
Yeah,
about the next.
We'll have it at the next
Next
meeting.
board meeting, we
Yeah.
can decide if we want
He
to move
assures
on.
me I'll have it by then.
Okay, right. New business, communications.
None
None.
since the last meeting.
Ooh, very good. Ooh, there's the elephant in the room. Insurance rate update. I don't know if you all want to hear this.
No.
No, we've heard it once.
Well, Steve and I had a meeting with the agent and we went over every policy. He did a pretty good job of summarizing the policy so we could take a look at it. And then he hit us with the handwritten figures in there about what he feels the maximum increases will be. But he also feels the most important one is the property And there've been quotes, not to us directly, but quotes bandied around at various official functions that say it could be up 50%.
Well, that's gonna.
Yeah.
Price itself right out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people can't afford it.
And this is only if we get with ACIC. Now, that's the one who's been underwriting us for the past 7 years. If ACIC either goes out or decides not to write us, then we're our only other, we have one other that has bid every year, and that's Heritage. But Heritage has been 15 to 18% higher on every bid they've come in. So we're not looking at that. Or we'd have to go to the Citizens. And if we have to go to the Citizens, that's the last resort, of course. And two things would have to happen. Number one, we'd have to have a building inspection of all 40 roofs. And that cost, I've already laid it out. We talked about not doing it until we know we have to. But the best price I got on that was $5,500 just to assess. Then to give an assessment of the roofs and fill out the forms that Citizen requires. After that, we would lose what's called ordinance and law coverage because Citizens doesn't cover that. In our community, it's very important that we have ordinance and law coverage because ordinance and law coverage means if you have a major disaster, you have to upgrade the reconstruction to today's codes. Without that, you would be prorated to any settlement the insurance company would give you. But as long as we have ordinance and law, that portion of putting in different wiring, different buildup of heights or whatever it might be, is all covered in the insurance. So we want to try to stay in this market with the ACIC. Also, ACIC is the only one that is approved in the state of Florida, which means ACIC has the backing of the Florida Insurance Fund, however woeful, incomplete that is, but it's there. You know, it's a very no pun intended, bad market, bad situation. And we're, quite frankly, from 3 years ago, our total insurance package was $295,000. And realistically, we're looking at $634,000 this year. I mean, that's double. I mean, anybody in the insurance business, I hope you're making a lot of money. Any questions?
Okay. Roof inspection is already done.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I do have a question.
sure.
The assessment that we're doing this year it's for the insurance, right?
Yes.
Is that gonna in any way help us for next year?
It just pays back what we were short from last year's quote. We had a
And it
chance
gave us
to,
an
we had 2
18%.
choices to do. We could have raised the rates or did the special assessment over a period of time. And of course, everybody made the decision to have 4 equal payments. So that's basically just ensuring that come March 7th, 2023, we have enough money in the bank. Okay, and we figured an 18% increase and they came in with 30.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have
So
to
yeah,
get,
that assessment did cover 18% of the increase, but not the 30
For this year?
for
Not
next
the
year, for
6.3.
2023.
next year.
Yes.
This year has already been paid.
So there is something there.
Yeah.
Not a lot,
Yeah.
but there is something.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's
Yeah.
18 of the 30% for property already coming in. Leslie,
So what would the new special assessment have?
no, there's not
No,
gonna
no.
be, that's not proposed.
No,
It's proposed just possibly to increase the monthly fees to it back in its level.
And why I'm not surprised that the highest assessment, 30%, is for the highest dollar amount.
Of course. They build those buildings very nice.
Buildings, yeah, 30% increase.
I'm hearing 50, I'm hearing there's companies that are leaving the state. Private homeowners are losing policy coverage everywhere. And then you hear political guys get on and say, well, when I get in, I'll just cut insurance rates. Well, how? I mean, how does that work?
Especially when they're contributors. all insurance.
Yeah, and this is a stupid question.
No.
But we can't go out of state to look for insurance.
Yes, you could go out to Lloyd's of London or something like that. Yeah, and there are companies that are not backed by the state fund, but they're not responsible if they go under either.
Yeah.
The one thing about ACIC, and there's some shakiness there because of the whole market, they've been rated, they were A+, and I think they're B+ now. But they're at least backed by the state fund. That's
Which
the
means
only
if they go
company
under-
around that will write our value, 92 million. There's, I mean, if we were in a condominium that had one building and we were valued at 8 million, there might be 5 or 6 interested in writing.
Right.
But when you get up into our dollars, over 50 million, nobody wants to touch it, especially of our building age.
And there's nothing we can do. I mean, a letter writing campaign wouldn't help.
Anything would help, but I mean, we've tried, we brought in other agents. I've talked to agents in Jacksonville. I've talked to agents in Daytona. I talked to agents in Miami. And they say, who you with? We say with ACIC. Well, I'll fight better with ACIC. No, I mean, we do, to what end?
Right.
We are getting better service from this company that we switched to. They have come out, they've made inspections. They just haven't shown up on March 7th to collect the check like the other company used to. They've been out and there's some benefits to our switching to the different agent.
I'm assuming we're not gonna be able to afford insurance.
Can you imagine the kind of-
Well, you know, it equates to about almost $40 a unit a month. The rate.
We heard from many of our neighbors, like Pinehurst or Pine Beetle.
Yeah, they got bigger problems.
Yeah,
They're,
Wildwood too,
Because they're dealing with
minimum
some-
dues that they're paying, maintenance fees is $525 a month.
Oh.
So
And while
we,
But we're not that far
we're,
behind.
no, but we're,
Spring Lakes, the houses are over 6 months.
well, yeah, I know the houses are, yeah. But a
600 a month?
1,500 unit
I think
and,
it's 606 or something like that a month.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Dick, you
They
should know
still
what
get
they are.
assessed all the time because they don't have enough reserves.
What do your kids pay?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know. I do know they're having problems, so.
Yeah.
Well,
I would too,
More
just-
than just insurance. I
Yeah.
mean, they've got issues with
Yeah.
no reserves and stuff like that.
Yeah. Wildwood too just had a meeting and they're talking an $1,100 assessment because they need roofs. So,
they're not new roofs.
no, just the coating, just the coating.
Hmm.
So,
So
in
we can
the
just pat ourselves on
large
the back for
picture,
the
we're
reserves.
not too bad a shape, but
Well, yeah,
I mean,
they're-
it's
they're
never
paying-
good when you gotta raise maintenance fees.
And those rooms over there.
You don't
make
wanna see it.
about $20,000 more Right now, in their annual fees.
And that's where
And they don't have services anywhere near.
Ironwood?
Yeah.
That's important.
So if or when we do an assessment to cover the insurance for next year, are we going to build anything into it for the future?
We're not gonna do an assessment.
We're not gonna.
No, it's gonna be included in the maintenance fee.
Maintenance fees will probably, well, not probably, maintenance fees will be going up.
We'll be going up.
I think that's the only.
And
way to
that
do it.
will-
Otherwise,
that will
we don't
ensure-
have any idea what,
We're not gonna get it like last year. We had 12% in, and when they said 18, we kicked it up to 18. What? We kicked it up to 18 in anticipation. They came in at 26. So then we put the 26 in to have everything done, and I think, or we put the 18 in, they come in at 30. Can it go up again? I suppose, but there has to be a
There
top.
has to be.
There has to
But
be.
yeah, they took the cap off though. 4 years ago,
Yeah.
they took the cap off the insurance
Yeah.
premiums. So when there's no cap, they can
So then we need to contact our
representative.
representatives.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
You're not the
Because
only
this is
one that
gonna
would do
price
it.
us out of,
yeah.
pretty soon it'll be $1 million.
Yeah.
If it keeps
Well,
going like
it's-
this.
I
and we
don't
can't
see
afford
it
that.
continuing.
I'll be living in a tent. Yeah.
And who did we decide is making the money from all this?
The investors in the insurance company.
Yeah.
Truly, I mean, because they're making profits, no doubt.
So they're
about
not regulated, the insurance
No,
companies.
these would have.
They've got free
Sunlight
reign.
Hurricane.
it. There are some regulations, but they're minimal.
So you need to contact your state representative,
Yes.
not your federal,
No,
your
no.
state.
Yes.
They're feeling the heat and they should.
More
They
heat we
should.
put on them.
One of us
Go
should
for it.
run for office.
We're not corrupt enough.
Yeah.
Oh, rich
Well, I
enough.
don't know.
Have to work at that.
Didn't he pay him money under the table?
Okay, all right, backflow preventer.
Backflow preventer, our main preventer, we have one backflow that governs all of our water, potable water that comes in. We have to have it inspected once a year. It failed inspection. I'm awaiting a price for the repair. I'm anticipating it being somewhere around $2,000. We did it 4 years ago, and it was about that price.
So it was repaired 2 years ago.
4 years ago.
We don't
What's
have
the
to.
fault?
The gaskets go, the pressure goes,
We don't have to.
Yeah, pressure seals.
Put a motion on that.
nothing on that. No, I'll bring it for you, but we have to do it because they give your final notice in the county, they want to turn the water off.
No, isn't that something that's covered by your?
That's what we do, yeah. It's just there to let you, everybody know what's going on.
Yeah. Pond dredging.
Pond dredging, well, the number one, you all know that, or most of you know that we're gonna put some money in the reserves this year for pond maintenance, whether it be dredging or pipe work or what have you. As you recall, our recent heavy rains caused at least one of the pools to overflow, and that's the one, we'll call it pool 4 for the one of better word. I don't know that that's it or not, but it's the one.
Pond.
Pond,
Yeah.
yeah. It's the one by, over there by Palm Tree.
Right.
Water comes in, gets down into the parking lot, water goes up and goes underneath the tennis court and above the pickleball court where it's eroding it. We're looking at a couple things. We're gonna try to see if the pipe system has collapsed. For some reason, 4 doesn't drain like every other lake does.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
And we don't understand why. I did go over there today and look at the catch basin, you know, that's there. It's usually like this, it's way down to here. So that's good news. So it may be, what happens is 4 or 5 years ago, we had pipes collapse at the end of Wildwood Springs Boulevard. And when we got in there, we found out these big pipes were the metal, old galvanized 40-year-old pipes that just collapsed. And that may be happening with this lake here. So we're gonna look at it 2 ways. We're gonna try, if we can, we might be able to do that in-house because Jim's qualified to run a backhoe. And that's what we did the last repair with, all in-house. So we're gonna try to keep it in-house to keep the prices down.
How long is the run from the pond to where you think the problem is?
We don't know.
We don't know.
We don't, we know that there's a, from that pond to the first catch basin, there's only what, 30 feet, maybe
20,
20, 30
25.
feet. But from then on, it goes all the way down to 5. So it's a long run, maybe 200 yards.
At least 200.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
because the waterway going towards Palm Tree, that was
Yeah.
way overflowing too.
Well, everything, we had a mega amount of rain,
I know,
But,
well, I know.
but the drainage seemed to be better. It just, for some reason, it stops up there. Everything around 5 and 6 and 7 got out of here. Everything in 1 and 2 somehow got out of here, but it seemed to deposit itself in 4.
All right, well, we're working on that.
Would literally sandbags against the tennis wall or pickleball court. Lots of sandbags. Would that help to keep the water away from the tennis courts?
Well, the problem is not so much the top. It soaks in underneath. We can keep it off the top, but if it's still there, it erodes underneath of the courts, and we have hollow spots where once the water goes out, some of the dirt just falls away down underneath. And, you
Because
know,
I can
eventually that'll
literally
collapse.
watch it as it rises and then just goes right across the tennis courts.
We're trying to control the water table.
Yeah, the water
You
table.
can dredge it out, take out 10 foot of stuff in there or whatever, that, but when it rains, I mean, the water gets up to that water table, and that water table is undermining the structure.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
So how do you change the water table?
Yeah.
Get rid of the water
Yeah, get rid of the water.
before it even gets there.
We're gonna check a little further into that drainage pipe and system.
Get a water pump and pump it away.
Where are you gonna pump it to?
Oh, out to 43rd. Claire's house.
Claire's house. Claire needs a little more water. You get a long hose and take it down to the homeless family.
Put that under water.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Okay, anyway, all right, but we're
Are we
working
almost
on
done?
that.
Yeah.
Managers
all
report.
right, we've covered most everything, but under general items, you know, we're still doing that project where all the roof penetrate, all the pipes that go through the roofs. We're covering them with heavy duty hardware cloth and wrapping them around so rodents and things like that can't get in. So now in doing it, we're again doing that project in-house. Jim is doing it. All of Pinehurst is done, all of Sherwood is done, all of Springdale is done. And we've got one more building to do in Palm Tree, so it's moving along pretty good. And it should alleviate any problems with the creepy crawlies of any major size.
Not creepy crawlies, runners.
Yeah, runners, that's true. And also, we have a security system on the office, and that has to be monitored. And also, they come out and check it once a year. Our system passed its yearly inspection, so there'll be no repairs needed on that. And finally, since the last meeting, it's been very, very, very busy. We've had 284 repairs or requests handled since last month's report.
Wow. Oh, that's actually 500.
You good? That's it?
That's it for that. Yes, sir.
All right, committee reports.
Steve, I know I'm really a committee fan, but I better go to physical therapy. And can I report on the activity committee, whatever? it is?
Sure, go ahead.
Social committee.
Social committee, yeah. Social activities director, as Joy used to say.
Yes.
I got an email today from Catherine that she is working with Cynthia to get the Fall Fest going. The date is November 5th, which is a Saturday. And they are looking for all kinds of volunteers for all kinds of things. So at this point, I would say contact Catherine. Get her information at the office.
I have a email from her that I can submit to the board member if that helps.
That's a good idea.
You mean Catherine or?
Catherine Wolf.
Catherine Wolf.
I'm
She now
sorry.
is an owner
I
here.
kind of,
Oh, really?
She
Yeah, she
bought,
lives in Lakeside.
she bought Nancy Thomas's unit.
I thought I saw her this morning.
yeah, she is in Lakeside. So, we can book her.
I can go for landscape for Peter.
Okay,
Peter said that he'll be coming down in October and probably be here for the next meeting. We've been trying to work against the rains, and as I previously discussed, we're going to start cutting tomorrow, so to try to keep down some of the high growth. And other than that, there's been nothing atypical. I know, go ahead.
No, finish your sentence.
Oh, okay. No, that's all right. The only typical thing is that we're starting to look for specific plantings to put in specific areas, maybe showplace kind of trees, things like that. And that's what they're working on.
Going along with that, I've had several neighbors come to my house and say, thank you for planting that palm tree.
Oh.
I know it sounds small, but people are actually watching it grow.
Good.
And they're saying it is growing.
Yes, and it should grow fast.
Yeah, so they are saying thank you.
Yeah, we took it.
Positive note.
That was the pool committee asked us to move it from its location in pool 5 to an area more people could enjoy it.
It was inside the, right next to the pump house at pool 5, just sitting there growing. Well, you know it's going to die or uproot the pump house. So they moved it to where a tree fell down and planted it right there. And it's looking great.
that's why you got.
positive note.
Yeah, glad to hear.
Oh, yeah, the clubhouse in fire.
Building, you got a meeting coming up.
Grab what?
Newsletter committee?
Building committee, not a whole lot. I got a meeting coming up Wednesday morning, 9 o'clock.
We're gonna take
Uh,
these out,
not
have some boards cut.
Whole lot on the agenda since we got the second
Look at us.
flooring out of the way.
Yeah,
So,
this one's
but we'll,
okay.
we'll be here Wednesday morning at 9. If anybody wants
9 or 10.
9.
It's an early one.
I'll be sitting in my dentist chair at 10.
Uh,
Just to clean, just to clean.
That's what they all say.
What else we got?
We have newsletter committee.
Newsletter?
Newsletter, yes. So we're
Okay.
having our meeting
I get
this
you, Chris.
Friday at 10 a.m. in here. And also on Zoom, we're looking for volunteers who want to contribute articles, do proofreading, editing. So we'll be sending out an email blast too, because to contribute articles, you don't need to be here. So for those who still, snowbirds who still have not returned, they can still contribute as well. So we'll send out an email blast for that this week. Before the Friday.
Very good. All right. Chris, IT?
Not much to report. I would like to ask Barbara to send me that agenda for the newsletter meeting so that I can put that up, and also the information about the ceiling and all that sort of information. We need to get that up as soon as possible. We have a meeting scheduled for the end of the month, and so we'll have plenty to talk about.
Chris, I'll send that to you when I get back to the office.
Sounds great. And so one thing I could mention is that if people don't realize it, we have a classified ads area on the website. And it's available to anybody that's a resident and has a website account. And all you have to do is put your stuff on there, put a picture or two on if you want. And it's available, it'll be out there for everybody to see.
Joe West is asking, can she list her unit?
We have another place for that.
Okay.
She's looking for extra space for the furniture.
Let's see, do we have everybody? Buildings, pool.
Not a whole lot going on. Our next meeting will be the first Tuesday of October. We worked on our budget and planning of the tree.
Very good. All right, director's comments. There.
I hate to do this, but the water in Lakeside, and I realize we've had a tremendous amount of rain. We really have. Yesterday, I couldn't get to my car because there was so freaking much, maybe it was Saturday, I don't remember it. There was so much rain, I would have had to walk through 6 or 7 inches of water. And in my pea little brain, I think the pump might not be strong enough, but I wonder where it's pumping it to.
We pump to pool 5.
But how does it get there?
It goes 2 ways. One, it goes across the street and across the street, directly across to where like Wendy lives.
Right.
And it goes down the covered cement into that catch basin. It's right there in the corner. In the corner.
Okay.
That's where half of it goes. The other half goes out around behind those buildings where Derbyshire used to live,
Okay.
550. And it goes around and it has a second pump back there that takes it into Lake 5.
Well, something's not working because I'm not kidding. And I know you're all sick of hearing this, but I'm sick of dealing with it. We had ducks swimming. No lie.
We have the biggest pump that we have on the community in there, okay? Steve and I have talked about a second pump, but he doesn't know that it will handle it, that will get it out of there any quicker, because it only can go so far so fast. And it's bad, you're right. I mean, especially if you have to cross a mini river to get to your carport.
You have to walk through a lake
Yeah,
to
but
get to your car.
it does get out of there, but
It does.
Yeah.
Eventually,
Yeah.
the last rain we had the real heavy ones.
Saturday, yeah.
It wasn't gone until Sunday.
Yeah.
Sunday morning. Late.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it just goes whoosh and it's gone. Sometimes,
Well, we look at it. All right.
can't you put a
all right.
snake in there? Maybe there's roots or something growing.
No,
inside the
everything's
pipes?
good because we can see the pumping places, because it pumps out behind 552. I go three
Oh.
places. First, we go there to make sure the pump's working. Second, we look at that pump that goes across the street because it dumps out right across the street. You can almost see it from where the pump is. Then we go around the back and we see if it's pumping out there, and every single time out they're going, they're flowing. But it's bad, but if it backs up and if Lake 5 got that high, had nowhere to go. Then it got out.
Look at the lake, you know, the lake all came all the way totally over, you know, I had 16 inches on the pickleball courts and I walked to get
Yeah.
one of our nets in the far corner.
Yeah,
Well,
and
I
I
don't
Bring it
doubt
out.
it.
And it was
I don't
chasing
doubt it,
lobsters.
but
up to have enough catfish. It's not fun.
All right, Claire, we'll see.
Don't you think it's probably too because the ground is so
Oh,
saturated?
saturated,
that
yeah.
It's not getting enough
Yeah.
anymore.
Just,
Yeah.
Life in Florida. Any directors? Anybody?
I know that we've rehashed this continuously in the last hour. Back to the termite issue. If there's no permit or information pertaining to the permit by Friday, can we transfer the furniture items to a U-Haul or a U-Haul pod or a different pod service on Friday if we don't have any more information pertaining to the permit? Because we're still out 2 weeks as of Friday, and her furniture is mildewing and rotting. Do we have to make a motion to this?
Of course, John said you wait 2 weeks, we'll see what happens, and then we make a decision.
I think he said 10 days.
And then, well, then they go in.
But the 10 days, her furniture will be muck. I'm not trying to beat a dead horse here, but if we don't have the permit to even start working on it by Friday, can we do something for
so
the
you want to
furniture?
transfer the furniture on Friday?
If we don't have
If
any
we don't
word
have
by the
any-
permit,
Yeah.
Friday, either call the U-Haul pods, which I know are really fantastic. Josh used them when he moved from North Carolina, and his stuff was in storage for almost a year. And set it right next to it, move all the stuff into the pod unit, take it over, and they come and pick it up and take it over to U-Haul, which is right across the airport. And they can put it in storage there, which is air
Is
conditioned.
that, I was just.
Yeah.
You know, I
Storage
don't
units
disagree
are-
with what you're saying. I think it's a good plan, but I think we're premature. We're micromanaging this thing. John will take care of it, and if it needs to be done, it'll be done on this time. We don't need to put a motion or even discuss it because we've already told it to handle it.
But it's another 2 weeks.
No. He says if it hasn't been done by this time, we'll go to the next step, plan B and plan C. So it'll happen. If it doesn't happen the end of the week or whatever, if he doesn't know when it's gonna happen, that's a week from now, then we'll go into plan C or B, whatever it is. So
No.
I don't disagree with it, but we don't need to talk about it.
What about getting a portable dehumidifier and putting it in the pod? I mean, we have one, one or two of those, and just run an extension cord.
Yeah, because they suck out quite a bit of water.
They do, I know, they cut out a lot
Yeah,
of
the
it,
second floor.
and that would help alleviate.
Yeah,
There's a
more-
second floor.
Use it, Bob.
No, I'm saying.
I know I don't have any. I had no idea. 'Cause I don't know that one.
Run it up.
There's a low level.
There's a plug out.
There's gotta be a plug out.
There's a plug out.
I've been calling, I say, where's it been?
The carport
And I was gonna say carports, yeah.
by the dumpster.
That part of the,
And they take out a lot of moisture, I know.
Get rid of it. Thank
To
you.
Shannon.
I had to move it out every year.
it's amazing.
And you can actually, when we go away in the winter,
they have to lock it and it has to be.
Whenever we go up, we want to be able to lock. We put ours in our sanctum, the bathroom closet.
I thought about that.
And run a hose.
My neighbor puts it
So
right
it's
on the kitchen counter,
Be
it drains into the
I'm
sink.
just worried about furniture. That's all I'm worried about. And if we're waiting 2 more weeks, even though we're going into dry season, it's mold, it's gonna mold.
What?
It's all.
I'm having Maggie check with the contractor to see if there's any update on the permit right now.
Good.
I don't know if he'll pick up, he could be busy.
Don't
I
we
would
have,
volunteer my.
John, Misty Serva, isn't she one of our county?
She just got beat.
Yeah, she's out.
No longer.
Yeah,
Misty is no longer.
but she's still serving.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's
yeah.
still serving.
Well, you know,
Called
how about
lame
a
duck.
nice farewell present for
Yeah.
us?
Lame duck.
Person
Lame
that-
duck. Lame duck.
Permit.
Yep. Owner's comments? Miss Leslie, I might. Excuse me.
I've noticed on practically every billboard in Wildwood Springs, above the mailboxes, one owner, sorry to say also in Lakeside, has put up a for sale sign, 8.5 by 11 on the area where where I guess people don't know that you're only allowed to have 3x5 cards up there. You're an owner, you're putting up an advertisement. And then some other person who lives in Wildwood Springs also put up ads all over the place that he would do hanging stuff, painting stuff, cleaning stuff, big, like 5x5. I think we need to have more signs up on the bulletin board that say only 3x5 cards or the rules.
All right.
I think,
And it's only up to 2 weeks.
yeah,
Right,
no,
there's-
not an 8.5 by 11. By the mailbox. I think Pam Sherwood had that at one time. The rules for.
There used to be a card we had on there, a business card on the side.
Yeah.
Most people call and ask what they can put up. When we see anything big, we just take it down.
Yeah, business
You know. So if there's anything oversized, anything that has business size, you could put up, like if you're gonna sell an ottoman, or you're gonna, or do something like that.
So it
That's.
can't be a 3x5.
I always thought it was 3x5.
No, well, I've been telling people business size cards.
That's.
Because,
Yeah.
well, they aren't that big, and, you know, when we get board meetings and other information, because there's more and more going out all the time, when we get the committee meetings, it gets tight, you know?
Can I just ask, are the cluster advisors supposed to be watching out for that?
I suppose, but, you know, Jeff and I post all week long, so if anything on there doesn't belong there, I take it off.
Okay, next meeting.
Any other
Next.
owner comment?
Anybody else of the owners? Tom, you get your hand? up?
Yes, just one quick question. Are all the ponds connected?
Yes.
So pond 1 way up in front goes all the way around the property till it goes out into the big lake near Oakview?
I designed that and different swales that are set up, yes.
But
So there's a-
also goes across the street.
Yeah, it goes, pond 1 goes out and it goes to the, we call it to the east underneath, and it also has some triple effect into those ponds that come around behind the units between us and the trail.
Okay, I mean, that's a lot of underground piping.
It sure is.
I just,
The other problem I failed to mention is that if we get into dredging or something like that, there's probably gonna be permits required, and we built, you know, when we built, Swift Mud wasn't Swift Mud. And they don't really come and see us or require us to do any engineering studies or anything else on our lakes. And if we open that Pandora's box, we're gonna really wish we hadn't. So we gotta be real careful what we do.
well, all we have to do is tell them we're working for Carlos Baruf.
Well,
We're looking for
true.
Jimmy Alpha,
that's right.
He gets away with everything, right?
He does.
who disappeared 1977.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else on owners?
All right, next meetings. Let's see, what do we have? I got the Tuesday, the 11th for the workshop and
Yeah.
then Monday, the 17th.
And that's when the budget will come to the
The budget
board.
will be,
Will we be at the
Yeah.
church?
If you want to start the church,
I'm just asking a
usually we
question.
start in November, but we can do,
I was gonna say,
We don't need
I don't think we need it, yeah.
I mean, we'll need it for October, November, because that's when the owners will have the budget and everything else to come and talk.
Yeah, let's have it back over here.
Very good. Adjournment.
Adjournment.
It's your job, Debbie. You gotta,
I make a motion.
Oh, well, you
that we
beat
adjourn
that.
the meeting.
All
Oh,
right.
sorry. I was still recording our meeting.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Thank you very much.